I am Wilfred Chikpa Anagbe, and I appear here as the Bishop, the Catholic Bishop of Makurdi Diocese, the capital of Benue State in Nigeria.
In every generation, God raises shepherds, not men who seek power or comfort, but men willing to walk where the pain is deepest. In the fertile lands of Benue State, where faith and hardship often meet, one voice has emerged as both pastor and witness. A missionary, farmer, teacher, and defender of the forgotten. This is the story of Bishop Wilfred Chikpa Anagbe, a shepherd who chose to walk among his suffering people. Wilfred Chikpa Anagbe was born on April 2nd, 1965 in Andona, in present-day Benue State, Nigeria. He was the second of 10 children born to Thaddeus Anagbe and Veronica Anagbe. His beginnings were humble. Like many children growing up in rural Nigeria, his future seemed uncertain. Yet his father insisted on one thing: education. That decision would change the course of history. Young Wilfred attended St. Peter's Primary School in Andona before entering St. James Junior Seminary in Makurdi in 1980. What began as a search for education slowly became a journey toward priesthood, a journey that would take him far beyond the boundaries of his village. After completing his seminary studies, Wilfred received an invitation from Declaration Missionaries. Founded by St. Anthony Mary Claret, Declarations are known for their missionary zeal and dedication to evangelization. For the young seminarian, this invitation opened a new chapter. He studied philosophy at the Declaration Institute in Owerri. He entered the novitiate in Untold, Benue State, Nigeria. And in 1987, he made his first religious profession. His formation continued through years of intense academic and spiritual preparation. He earned a degree in philosophy through the Pontifical Urban University in Rome, and later pursued theological studies at the Spiritan International School of Theology in Enugu. His academic journey culminated in a master's degree in theology in Pittsburgh, United States of America. Yet education was never his destination. Mission was. On August 6, 1997, Wilfred Anagbe was ordained a Catholic priest at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Cathedral in Makurdi. From the very beginning, one quality defined his ministry: obedience. Wherever he was sent, he went. Whatever assignment he received, he accepted. He became Vocations Director for Declaration Missionaries in Nigeria. He established and managed schools, pioneered parish communities, supervised farms, served as dean, preached retreats, formed seminarians. He worked tirelessly in pastoral ministry. Those who knew him often described him as a man incapable of idleness. Whether in a classroom, a parish office, a chapel, or a farm, he approached every task with equal commitment. For him, ministry was never limited to the sanctuary. It extended to every aspect of human life. There is another side to Bishop Anagbe, but many people do not expect. He loves farming. and while managing the Declaration Farm project in Utonkon, he immersed himself in agriculture, poultry, fishery, gardening, crop cultivation, the list goes on. He believed that faith and work belonged together. Friends remember a priest who could move seamlessly from celebrating Mass to inspecting crops. A priest who understood that dignity often begins with honest labor. His humor reflected the same philosophy. When asked if fruit could be served at a community gathering, he jokingly replied, "Have you planted any tree since you became a clerician?" The laughter was immediate, but so was the lesson. Hard work matters, as well as responsibility, and blessings often grow from seeds we are willing to plant. In 2005, while pursuing doctoral studies in church history in Spain, Father Anagbe received unexpected news. His fellow clericians had elected him the chief financial administrator of the congregation in Nigeria. Again, obedience called, and again he answered. He left his studies and returned home. For nearly a decade, he oversaw the financial stewardship of the Declaration missionaries in Nigeria. His competence earned him another responsibility. From 2008 to 2013, he served on the General Economic Council of the Worldwide Declaration Congregation in Rome. The council helped review and approve budgets affecting Declaration missions across the globe. Yet administration never separated him from people. Even while handling finances, he remained active in pastoral ministry. He served as military chaplain, preached retreats, accompanied priests and seminarians, and remained above all else a missionary. On July 8, 2014, history was made. Pope Francis appointed Monsignor Wilfred Chikpa Anagbe as coadjutor bishop of Makurdi. The appointment carried special significance. He became the first Declaration bishop in Nigeria, one of only a handful of Declaration bishops appointed during the pontificate of Pope Francis, and a symbol of the growing missionary vitality of the Nigerian Church. On October 4, 2014, the feast of St. Francis of Assisi, he was ordained bishop at IBB Square in Makurdi. Months later, following the resignation of Bishop Athanasius, he became the Bishop of Makurdi. His episcopal motto would define his ministry: Ad Jesu et fratres serviendum, to serve Jesus and the brethren, not to be served, but to serve. As violence spread across parts of Benue State and Nigeria's Middle Belt, entire communities found themselves living in fear. Families were displaced, farms were abandoned, and lives were scattered. Bishop Anagbe could have remained silent. Many expected him to. He did not. Again and again he spoke publicly about the suffering of Christians and vulnerable communities. He carried their stories beyond parish boundaries, beyond diocesan boundaries, beyond Nigeria itself. In international forums, he called attention to the violence devastating communities across the region. He urged the world not to look away, not to ignore the cries of victims, not to become comfortable with silence. His advocacy earned admiration from many. It also, however, attracted criticism. Yet he remained unwavering. because for him, a shepherd cannot abandon his flock when wolves appear. Perhaps nowhere is this commitment more visible than in Yelwata. On June 14, 2025, tragedy struck the community. Lives were lost, families were destroyed. A wound was opened in the heart of Benue. 1 year later, Bishop Anagbe stood among survivors and families of the victims, not merely as an observer or a church leader, but as a shepherd. On June 13, 2026, he commissioned a memorial monument dedicated to those who died. The monument serves a simple but profound purpose: to remember, because remembrance is resistance. To remember a name is to affirm a life. To preserve memory is to defend human dignity. The memorial stands as a declaration that the victims will never be forgotten, and neither will the lessons of their sufferings. Bishop Wilfred Chikpa Anagbe often says, God does not call the qualified, God qualifies the called. Looking at his life, one begins to understand what he means. A village boy from Andona, a missionary priest, teacher, farmer, administrator, bishop, and voice for the voiceless. A shepherd who refuses to abandon his flock. His story is not ultimately about titles or about offices or even about achievements. It's about service. Service to Jesus, service to the brethren. And in the world searching desperately for courageous leadership, Bishop Wilfred Chikpa Anagbe remains a living reminder that the heart of a shepherd is measured not by where he stands in times of peace, but by where he stands when his people suffer.
To return my people to their ancestral home. Nothing more, nothing less.